Hey, this is Notser, and we're in the Tier 9 Pan-Asian Destroyer, Chung on the map Land of Fire. Builds on the screen, pretty straightforward build. We got main armament protection, propulsion protection, improved accuracy, improved acceleration, concealment, faster torpedo rearm. For my commander, priority target, preventative maintenance, adrenaline rush, last stand, survivability expert, basic firing training, superintendent, and concealment. So my goal initially was to go for the closest objective. I spawned near C point, I went towards C point, and I didn't really have the success I was looking for. There was already another enemy DD trying to capture it. I figured it's too early. There's no reason to waste my health, my life. And I read a lot of commentary. I see players say, I would love to play the objective, Notser. But I usually die in the first 2 minutes. And do you know why you die in the first 2 minutes? Because you play very predictably. You don't leave yourself an out. You allow the enemy to counter your play by being predictable. And what's predictable? An enemy DD going to the closest objective, popping smoke, and sitting in it until the base is captured. I think everyone said that with me, right? That is the most predictable lead of any and every game. So what you need to do is not do that. It's okay to go capture the base. It's okay to potentially have to sit in your smoke, but it's not okay to design your initial plan, regardless of what the enemy is doing, to do just that. He is capturing the base, undetected because of smoke. I left the area, allowed the aircraft to do whatever the hell they wanted, and I'm coming back to try and capture C point. You would be astounded by how many players capture the base and they leave. It's not my problem. I did what I was supposed to do. I captured the base. Yeah, well, part of capturing a base is defending the base, and if you stay too long defending, well, you're gonna die. Clearly, this enemy DD is going to die. Friendly New Orleans was in the area and used radar, or Baltimore, one of the two. And I popped smoke, sat in it, and I'm going to continue to fire my guns. One of the easiest kills you could get, and incredibly predictable. Nothing about this player is bad, it's just most DDs do this. Most DDs will go to the closest objective and camp. Don't do that. Try and be more reactive and countering what the enemy is wanting to do. I didn't want to sit my smoke and allow the enemy to exploit that. I just left the area and then came back. So it worked out. And hopefully that enemy DD will recognize what he did wrong. That's the best thing that can happen out of everything, is that players improve. I really dislike ripping apart people. That doesn't seem very constructive. So we captured C point, enemy captured B point, and they're in the process of capturing A point. Unfortunately, we don't have anyone stopping them at A point, and the Hipper can camp behind the island. So this is the primary flank. Everything's going to go down here. We win or lose based on this flank. How do we win the flank? Well, we don't run into the aircraft and die. Pan-Asians are really bad when it comes to AA protection. They don't have defensive fire. Their AA is okay. But on the whole, they really would prefer to not be close to aircraft. They also counter the deep water torpedo effect incredibly strong. They don't care that it's in the water and it's deep in the water. They have the same spotting range as any other torpedo. So you have to build that into your strategy. Don't fall for the aircraft carrier harassing the hell out of you. If they just want to punish you and just stay on you the whole time, go back to a cruiser. Get the hell off of me, guys. So I wanted to use my torpedoes. I saw that the enemy was primary on this flank, and I sent my torpedoes. Now, I sent it right in front of an enemy aircraft carrier. The dive bomber tried to go after me, and I was just maneuvering wildly, of course. I didn't feel like popping the smoke was appropriate. I didn't really think I would get enough out of it to justify it. I just wanted to maneuver away. So since I sent the torpedoes in front of the enemy, they see it. And you might say, well, that's a waste of torpedo send. Is it? Is it a waste of a torpedo send? I find more often than not, if there's 2 or 3 enemy ships in close proximity, they are not paying as much attention to torpedo threats or anything like that because, quite frankly, they expect everyone else to do that but themselves 9 times out of 10. It's a very weird phenomenon that humans do. They just assume that someone around them is doing all their due diligence to watch for emergency exits and do everything that they need to do, when in reality, no one's actually doing it, and they all are like, you know, chickens with their heads cut off. And we should not have gotten a strike on an enemy because that was completely visible. But we did. It's a really weird situation. So if you find yourself, there's 3 or 4 enemy ships in close proximity, I would definitely send my torpedoes. One of them is not paying attention. All of them are not paying attention, let's be honest. So I didn't feel like that was a flank worthy of my effort. My team has the base. We don't need to press anymore. We need 2 bases, and we need to try and get the enemy to not be so focused. 6 and 7 ships are just difficult to deal with, period. So I headed over to B point, and there's an enemy, Große Kurfürst, powerful German battleship. Yeah, well, deep-water torpedoes are pretty good against big, great big, powerful battleships. So I send my torpedoes, expecting him to potentially move back or reverse. What I got was he sort of went forward and went back. Friendly aircraft carrier, I don't know if you see it on the minimap, he has forced this target to be perfectly broadside to my torpedoes. So you hear those games where I'm like, anti-timing with the aircraft carrier. Not here. That aircraft carrier is a bro. He gave me that kill. He forced the enemy to maneuver away from his torpedoes directly into my torpedoes. So, in that rare instance, the CV was actually the best teammate, not the worst. We captured B point, of course. My team's doing all right on the eastern flank. And I'm just going to try and find myself maybe another enemy battleship. There is a enemy destroyer trying to keep A captured. You can see it. It's being contested right now. So we know that Z46 is over there. I think it's a Z46 or it's a Z39 or Z26. I can't see. The screen's really small to me. I know that's a dumb excuse, but I'm going to stick to it. And this is a cyclone scenario. So I'm going to send my torpedoes. I'm trying to keep that island in between my ship and this enemy battleship. And of course, I'm looking at my torpedoes, and what do I find? I find an AFK DD. Unfortunately, he spots me to the enemy battleship. And I'm going, oh crap, this isn't what I wanted. I didn't want to be spotted. I want this guy to run into torpedoes, unpredicted. 3, 4 torpedoes make contact. We kill the enemy French battleship. Glorious. And I think this guy actually came back to his computer because the enemy DD pops smoke, tries to move. I can see him maneuvering, but it's too late. It's too late for him. What an interesting way to come back to a game. You're being killed by an enemy DD, and it's only been 10 minutes. Yeah. So, continue to move forward. We've got the enemy battleship here, and this game was decided rather quickly. And every single torpedo send has actually netted us some damage, which is incredibly rare for me. I have to say, I'm not complaining. Usually I'm not as successful. But the Große Kurfürst, the Richelieu, hopefully Yamato. If we could get some damage on this target, oh, it'd be so glorious. But the game's clearly won. And it was decided by good, clean play. Not just on my part, but my teammates. My teammates did a good job. You know, the New Orleans, using his radar, perfect timing. The team was primarily pushing forward. We could kill that enemy DD. And then I moved to B point just in time to assist the CV, and everything worked out from there. We got 2 torpedo strikes on that enemy battleship. Not bad, not bad. Looks like the enemy is going to try and capture C point. So there's about, 2 or 3 over on that flank. I am deciding where to go. Do I want to go towards C point? There's 2 enemy ships. There's an aircraft, but aircraft are pretty crappy during Cyclone. I mean, point blank, quite literally point blank range for detection. And I think he's on to me because he sails right. He sails, yes. Aircraft just sail over me. They flew over me, and now I'm detected, so yeah. The element of surprise is gone. Friendly Des Moines is taking fire from one of the enemies at C point. The enemy Yamato died to the friendly Kagero. He was able to set a flood on the target, and we obviously know when I hit with my deep water torpedoes, it forced out damage control. So it's good that the enemy was able to exploit that. The enemy aircraft carrier tries, but yeah, that ain't happening, bud. It's very rare that I ever take torpedoes, and a single torpedo squadron? No. But conveniently, we run smack dab into him. I fire off some HE, and then I switch to AP. Why AP? Well, we're so close that I have his perfect broadside, and this AP is going to go deep inside. This is going to do tons of damage, 2-3K per salvo. I am trying to get the Citadel, maybe a little bit too greedy, but yeah, I mean, look how tall the ship is. That's a lot of hull to hit, and yeah, easy money there, easy money. No flood, unfortunately. Can we get 200,000? I really want 200,000. Friendly Des Moines dies, and the New Orleans dies too. These 2 enemies are putting up a real good fight over by C point. I'm actually pleasantly surprised because some of the enemies were just run in and die. But these 2 in particular have fought it about as good as they can given the circumstances. And we break that 200 threshold. Friendly uses his torpedoes. He's probably jealous. I got my torpedoes out on the enemy aircraft carrier, and I'm not going to complain. Just trying to get as much damage on the target before the torpedoes hit. Ooh, someone got a big shot. Is this the ending? Is the salvo going to be enough? Is he going to die to the dot? I think he's going to die to the torpedo. Yeah, he dies to it. The torpedo does like 500 damage. And that's how we got to the tier 10. Pretty good game. Devastating strike, Confederate, high caliber, 4 kills, 208,000 damage. 2,827 base XP. I love the Pan-Asians. I can't wait to play the tier 10 for you. I hope you enjoyed it. What else can I say? They're really strong if you play to their strengths. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.